Hi, it's Terry Rose here. I'm going to assume that you've either heard my stories or read my 7 True Stories or know enough to realize that you want to be able to do the things that I talk about in those stories, which is very, very possible. I like to think of myself as the success coach with a common sense approach because there are techniques and processes that you can do that make things very, very simple for when you want to accomplish a goal. And I don't care what kind of a goal it is. If it's health, if it's creating more money, if it's changing careers, if it's in your love life, it doesn't matter what it is. Perception really is reality, and there are many, many studies that show what goes on in a person's mind, in a person's perception, when a person expects certain things, how brain waves even can tie together and get in sync, and there's just fascinating studies that show that it really does make a difference what you think, what goes on in your mind, how you perceive other situations. So that's really the bottom line. You can create any situation that you want. If you can see it in your mind, you create it internally, and you can change situations. This is the thing that I love, because a lot of people say, oh, I manifested this money, I manifested this job. I hear a lot of people talking like that, but my real question is always, have you been able to take something and use a process, a step-by-step process, to change something that you don't like into something different that you do want? And that's what you want to be able to do, because we do have the ability to do that. And my stories talk about the situations that happened in my life and how they changed, and I learned little bits and pieces all through my life. When those things happened, I had to look at them and say, what caused that to happen, and how can I repeat that when I want to? And it boils down to some very simple things. So I put a lot of years of research and experimentation and the information that I discovered into my program, Triangle Formula for Success, so that anybody can get that program. It's a very affordable way to get coaching, and it's about 4 hours of coaching, and then you just follow the steps on your own. Then if you need some extra help, you can move forward. If you need some kind of like an energy work or something, a tool to use, then there's things that I can suggest. There's a lot of things out there that work that you can use this program with. I talk about that in the program. If you need extra coaching, you can go to a coach. You can come to me, or you can go to another coach that can help you define things that you need some assistance with. But I like the common sense approach of looking where you are, what resources do you have, how much help do you need to get started, and then you just go step by step. And that's what my coaching programs are all about, helping you figure out where you are, what needs to be done, what needs to change, what's the right vision. I help you set up a toolbox where you have supplies in there so that you can fall back on them at times when you need something to keep you from slipping back into the old ways and keeping your goal out of reach. So my common sense way says, look at where you are, start with the easiest, most simple thing, look at the tools, the things that you already have, and just start filling in the things that you need. And that's what Triangle Formula for Success helps you have, that foundational program to look at these areas that need to be in alignment with each other, and it walks you through the process. So I would highly recommend starting there, and it's a much more cost-effective and fast way. You can move into coaching as you need it and if you need it, but that program will give you a lot of information that you can work on your own. And so that's my recommendation to get started. And I know that we all have the ability to do the things I talk about in my stories, to do that every day. We just have to change the way that we think of life and what goes on in our mind, and start procreating, being proactive with our thoughts, creating things in advance in our minds and watching them unfold rather than reacting to the things that show up in life.